Welcome to Allergy Dragon's Lair. My name is Martha Morgan. I'm your host. I'm a specialty diet and allergy chef with celiac disease and a couple of food allergies. But my biggest claim to fame, I should say, is raising a child with over 30 food allergies and celiac disease to adulthood. It's Allergy Dragon's Lair podcast, and I'm doing what I do all the time, which is talk to amazing people. And this time I have a really awesome chef named Allen on here who's local to Louisville. He happens to be part of the Yes Chef program that's coming up in March. His month is in March, I should say, with the Louisville Public Library. But before we jump into this episode, let me go ahead and do my quick disclaimer. The views expressed here on our show are the personal opinions and life experiences of our guests and ours. We are not healthcare providers or doctors. Please seek advice from your healthcare professional for any diagnoses or changes to your healthcare plan. Allen, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the podcast. And can you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey here to food and all that good stuff?
Sure. Hey, thanks for having me. My name's Allen Heintzman. I'm a chef here from Louisville, Kentucky, and I am at the Brown Hotel currently, where I make lots of hot browns. I've been a professional chef for 27 years and counting. It's been a good journey for me. I've spent most of my career in private restaurants, though I have done country clubs and now I'm in a hotel. Food is my love. It's where my passion is. And it's been a great experience to have it as a career and have my passions be my career.
Most chefs, I think, have like we start doing one thing and then we either keep getting called back to food, or food it ends up we end up stumbling upon it and it just ends up being the thing that we end up doing and loving. Like you
Yeah.
really have to love it to do it. Like people don't understand that.
Yeah, it is definitely a labor of love, and but it's rewarding work, and it's a good feeling.
What would you say is your food philosophy or what you feel like you're passionate about food?
I mean, I think that my philosophy with food comes from the idea of providing people with a wholesome meal. At the end of the day, I want to give people something that's delicious and entertaining, but also nourishing and something that is going to be good for them. It's part of life. We all have to eat, and it could just be a bland experience. But for me, it's elevating it to something that is communal. I strive to provide people a wholesome, good experience at the end of the day.
And I think that's well said because, food is universal. We all have to eat. And it's also another way we take care of each other, like, have you ate
Yeah.
dinner yet? It's definitely a universal language, food is. I had the same thing with the health because I was in restaurants for about 20 years. And then
Mhm.
in like 2014, I went to healthcare, ran a hospital kitchen for 11 years. I know medical diets too. And the same thing is it needs to be healthy, but it needs to taste good because if not, then you are not going to eat it and you're not going to really enjoy it. And that's where our food aligns, or I guess philosophy aligns, is we want to still take care of people. We want them to have a good, nourished meal. Yes, obviously you can have a cookie here and there, but we want you to have, a healthy, flavorful experience. Community, I think that that's a beautiful thing because and people talk about like food itself and free from food. When people hear allergy friendly food, they already have like a negative connotation, which is kind of blows my mind because food is just food, and free from food or allergy friendly food just means you can have more people at the table because it's safer for more people.
It's an inclusivity sort of thing, and you want everybody to feel well. From my standpoint, I want every guest that comes into my restaurant to feel like they're welcome and that they're going to be able to have an equally good experience as anybody else. And so that's really, and it comes from a place of love. I think when you cook for people, if you want not only nourishing people, just fulfilling that aspect of it, but giving them the sense of being with other people and the community of that. Don't want it limited, that's the thing. We want everybody to be able to have that experience of eating good food out with other people.
Exactly. We're talking about inclusivity at the table. From your perspective as a chef, how do you currently approach cooking for guests with food allergies or other dietary limitations? And what does that responsibility mean to you personally?
Oh yeah. Well, we take it obviously very seriously. When somebody comes in and says they have an allergy to anything, it's becomes my job to figure out where that might exist and how I can do dishes without it to give the same experience. And so that kind of ends up being my goal if it's something I have to leave out, is there a substitution? Is there something different that I can do that is going to give the person the same general experience and without having, to be exposed to the allergen? I think that one thing that I definitely have noticed in the recent years is that it's becoming servers are very attuned to it nowadays. And I highly recommend anybody who has allergies to not feel embarrassed or scared or apprehensive about letting their server know, because that's where it all starts. The communication, the server communicates to the kitchen. And so we can't know anything unless the server's informed. So it's extra important for people to just have that comfort in knowing that the server well versed nowadays, I think, at hearing and understanding how to communicate allergies to the kitchen. A server comes back, they not only will ring it in the computer system, which will give, the details, they'll come back and follow up and say, okay, this, person can't have this or this, what can we do for them? And that's when not I get to it's really an opportunity for me to utilize my creativity. Actually, I don't see it as a drudgery or as a hindrance. Actually, it's an opportunity. So they come back, and then I'll discuss it with them, I give them some options, and then generally they'll go back to the guests and see, convey those options, and we'll find what we can do for somebody.
So you take it as like a good challenge, not a negative challenge, which is awesome to see, because there's so many people that are chefs that get so worried that they're going to hurt somebody that they turn them away completely, or they will strip it down to where you're getting a plain breast of chicken with no seasoning and a plain broccoli, and
Right.
because they want to be safe, which is
Yes.
I guarantee you, and everybody has their own thing. So the fact that you are approaching it to the same zest I do is awesome. So thank you so much for doing
Yeah.
that. So going into that with the food allergies, some people will ask me as a chef, like, what should I do if I'm going to go out to eat and that type of thing? And I always say that best bet is to call ahead or try to talk to somebody and let them know. So what would you say is your best, like, if you could give somebody tips for dining out as a chef, what would you like to see when they come to you?
I think that really the key is just, yeah, like you said, calling ahead of time. The more notice I have, the better it works out for me. Because the worst case scenario is I cook something and then find out that it afterwards that they can't have it because of an allergy that I wasn't aware of. So the best case scenario is that I have a little time to prepare and to consider the options of what we can do. And
Hmm.
so I would suggest just coming at it with the idea that it's not a there's no stigma to it anymore, and it's actually very, very common. There's for people to come in and every day basically have, there are people that have different dietary needs and issues, and we take each one serious. And so people shouldn't have that apprehension that, oh, I'm going to bother them, or I don't want to be a nuisance, because that's part of hospitality, is taking care of everybody.
Yeah, I always say that, like, I would rather if somebody call ahead, because your creativity can be stifled because of how busy you are, or how things are going. You may not be able to have that creative, be quite as creative as you could be if you had a little bit ahead notice. So, yeah.
Yeah, communication, and yeah, just
Hmm.
a little extra time is always good.
So, Yes Chef is part of the program. I'm in April. So, you are in March before me, and March is my birth
Yes.
month, by the way. So I'm like,
Okay.
yay. Yeah. So, Chef in Residency for March. Can you share anything that you have planned? And obviously, I'll have things linked below where you can check out Yes Chef, so you can check out more information about what you have going on. But can you kind of give us a preview?
Sure. Yeah. No, I think it's such a cool thing being that it's affiliated with the library. So I kind of have taken a bit of an academic approach to it. I didn't want to do just a pure cooking class, I guess. So my three, I'm doing three topics, and I'm kind of trying to do maybe a more of a, like a bit of a lecture on different items. So one of them is going to be on pickling and fermentation. So it'll be kind of microbes in food. So we get into a little bit of the chemistry of that. And I'm really excited about that one because it'll be very interesting, very hands-on. I'm gonna do some salt cured, maybe like egg yolks and preserved lemons and different vinegar pickles. And I just think it's kind of a fun topic, and it's something that people it's relatively easy once you get the hang of it, and it's there's a lot of creativity that people can do with it. Another one that I'm going to do is on basically the history of spices and how kind of a look into the geopolitical sort of societal ramifications of the spice trade. And in that, I want to go into, I'll be able to kind of go into the spices themselves and kind of maybe be able to pass out different samples of peppercorns from Vietnam versus peppercorns from India, you know. So I'm going to try to pick up some cool stuff for people to sample, just like look at and actually see. And then the third one is going to be the future of food. I'm kind of want to do a look, kind of a deep dive into maybe urban farming, looking at vertical gardens, hydroponic systems, just kind of where food is going into the future. So I want to kind of my plan is to have kind of do some cooking and a little academic sort of lecture at the same time since it's the library.
Yeah, no, I think I kind of have a little bit of the same approach, and I saw yours online, and I was like, "Oh, those are really good topics." And of course, I'm a super geek anyway, so I was like looking at the salt curing, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to be fun." And then the herbs, and I was like, "That's going to be fun." And I was geeking out myself, and I was like, "Oh, those are going to be fun topics."
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I love it. I do the same thing. I actually have like I have something set up for mine as well, and I have like handouts. I'm very, I call it nerding out or geeking out, whatever. I'm very much into the chemistry of everything. And then when you take it into the food allergy aspect and taking things away and putting it back in, it's even more crazy, especially with the baking and then taking everything out because everything I do is gluten-free, vegan, and top nine free, as well as alpha gal safe. So it's all chemistry.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, no, that's been kind of the cool thing about this is the Yes Chef program being that we kind of an opportunity to take a deep dive into some things, you know, and I think that's fun. It's,
Yeah, if I have time, I will definitely go to the salt curing thing because it's very cool just to hear I haven't done as much of it. It's been years, but anyway. But yeah, that's very cool. I like that one. And I like the spices because people just underestimate like how much flavor is in different things, and then like where certain spices come from or that kind of thing. And
yeah.
then I get geeky because there's cross reactives like pink peppercorn are part of like the cashew family, like the chemistry protein makeup, like
Oh,
the
sure.
cashews. So then sometimes people have what they call a cross reaction. They're actually not allergic to the actual peppercorn. It's mimicking the proteins in the cashew.
Ah,
So anyway,
yeah, it's
I get
fascinating.
geeky that way.
Yeah, no.
I had no trouble like coming up with like little things because I'm even doing like little things like I would like to do like during my open kitchen hours, and I'm sure you're doing the
Mhm.
same thing, it sounds like. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm geeking out. It's just so much fun. Anyway, yeah, I can't wait for you to have yours. And Nina said hers was awesome. So obviously, if anybody's listening, go check out Nina's. She was the first Yes Chef in January. Yeah, and it's cool to be part of like the newness of this whole program.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, it's like cool. We get to be the first ones. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah, we get to launch it, the pioneers.
yeah, that's right.
Northeast Library, that is such a cool space that they've built with the kitchen and everything. So,
Yeah, I'm really, really excited for it too, and I'm excited for yours so much. With the Yes Chef, if somebody decided to attend, what do you, other than like obviously being kind of a lecturer and that type of thing, what kind of other things do you think that they should expect?
you know, I like to have fun. I want it to be interactive. You know, I hope that people will ask questions, and I'm hoping that there'll be a good, you know, repartee between the audience and myself, and that way we can kind of explore these topics. It's not really a necessarily a sit there and be quiet kind of thing and listen. You know, I think it would be good for. I'm hoping that you know there's a bit of audience participation. And that's what I'm thinking with the spices and being able to pass things around if people want to, be able to check it out and have a little bit of a hands-on experience.
Yeah, no, I think that's really cool what you're gonna do. And it can definitely be interactive. Would you say that you're going for a specific age group or is it kind of pretty all inclusive?
Well, I think that for some of the topics, it may be a little bit more of an older crowd, but I think that definitely the pickling topic would be interesting for kids and the younger adults and such. So, but I think it would appeal to anybody.
hmm Sounds like it. Definitely sounds like it. So if for some reason somebody has any questions or anything else for you about anything that's going on, I know that you can email the Louisville Library. It's Yes Chef, the website and everything, and information will be down below, so you can go check out everything that ha is going on in March. I guess we need to be wrapping up. I could definitely talk to you forever. It sounds like we're both very nerdy people, and it's awesome. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's been
Uh,
great.
it has been very fun. I really appreciate it. So I want to do my ending question. So the ending question is always if you have anything else you want to say that was not covered, and or so you can do both of these, if you want to leave an ending thought.
I guess my ending thought is I think that people with allergies should realize that the majority of restaurants, in my opinion, are there and are willing to accommodate, and I don't think people should feel shy or apprehensive about it. I think it's something that people want you to come to their restaurant and they should. And if they don't, then go somewhere else because I think that there are lots of places that take it serious. And I think people are becoming, and I definitely believe that the industry is trending towards being educated in on the topics of food allergies and safety with that.
So I love the fact that you are talking about the fact that we should not be scared to ask the questions, like to have the conversation, because sometimes you just don't want to be singled out. So we definitely know that Chef Allen here is willing to have that conversation with you. So if you ever have to go to his restaurant, I'm just saying there's options there. Definitely go check him out. I guess, like I said, we're going to be wrapping up. Thanks, Chef Allen, for coming by. It was really an awesome conversation. I will have all the links below and everywhere that you can check out for obviously Yes Chef coming up, and then more information about Chef Allen. He's doing all kinds of things. There's all kinds of articles about him, so you're going to have to check those out. And if you're listening to the podcast, please rate us. It really, really helps. Review, rate, however you want to look at it. And subscribe, share, comment below, and we will talk to you all later. Bye.
Thank you.